Oh, that guy is so dead. This guy right here, rest in peace. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, he didn't make it. So every year when Christmas rolls around, Coca-Cola is making one of these advertisements called "The Holidays Are Coming." And they're getting tons of heat online right now because this advertisement for the past 2 years has been made with Gen AI. This is probably one of the most blatant and obvious uses of Gen AI by a mainstream large corporation. And judging from the YouTube like and dislike ratio, I think people are pretty sick of this. All right, so let's take a look at this together and see how bad it really is. See if it deserves that 1 to 10 like to dislike ratio. Now, I'm going to mute this because there is copyrighted music, but everything that you see here is created by real magic AI, according to Coca-Cola. Quite ironic if you ask me. So there's the polar bears. You can see the fur is kind of like shifting because of the Gen AI, and those are just like classic Gen AI artifacts. And honestly, all the animals here look a little bit uncanny, especially that panda just now. And that's, you know, something to be expected with Gen AI stuff. Look at that sloth. That's horrendous. Okay, so there's cranes in the Arctic. And seals, again, pretty uncanny looking. Rabbits, oh Christ, look at how they just kind of like merge out of the background. Okay, AI dogs, trucks going through a town, AI squirrels. Oh my goodness. Oh Jesus. Okay, there's a squirrel. Oh, look at that camera movement. And just before we move on here, there's something that I saw that kind of concerned me. Yeah, right here. Look at these people. They're in the streets. The trucks are coming. Oh, that guy is so dead. This guy right here, rest in peace. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, he didn't make it. Dude, what is going on here? And this child is getting way too close to that second truck. These people are getting mowed down. That's fine. Let's add one more to the collection here. There you go. 19,000 already? Wait, did it? It was 17,000 a couple hours ago, I'm pretty sure. So that was pretty horrendous. And I think what makes this even more horrendous is Coca-Cola's upper management deciding to double down on this. The company says they used even fewer people to make it. Quote, "We need to keep moving forward and pushing the envelope. The genie is out of the bottle and you're not going to put it back in." That is just ridiculous. Now, it's very disheartening for me as an artist to see other artists be put out of jobs because of Gen AI, but it is very heartening for me to see the amount of hate that people have for Gen AI. And not just artists too, I think the general population, the more casual, average, everyday person is starting to get just as sick of AI slop as we are. Flexing that you put even more people out of a job is crazy, especially when this isn't some metaphorical genie and is a technology forcing slop onto people. Absolute ass, and like, I love the energy here. The genie is out of the bottle and you're not going to put it back in. Your boss firing you on Christmas. This is disgusting. You're a multi-billion-dollar company. Pay real animators. This is disgusting. Is Coca-Cola run by idiots? They saw all their backlash from last year and doubled down. Now, they might actually be run by idiots. And just take a look at some of these comments on the original ad on YouTube. The sad thing is that even the plot of the commercial was limited by AI. It's obvious they started with what's the easiest way to hide the limitations of the tech instead of what would make a memorable Christmas commercial. And were forced to constantly change animals and locations because if they stuck with the iconic polar bears, there's no way the design model would stay anywhere close enough to keep even the general public from picking up on it. This is how creativity dies. That is 100% true, and throughout this entire ad, you're going to notice that there is almost no sense of continuity here. There's no long continuous shots. There's no recurring characters other than the trucks, which also seems to change in appearance every single shot. And all of these shots transition after like 2 or 3 seconds. You know, they don't let them play on the screen for that long, because honestly, the longer you let some of these shots play out, the higher the chances of them looking absolutely uncanny and ridiculous. Almost all the comments here are like in agreement saying the same thing. Remember when they paid real animators to make commercials with heart? Now it's soulless AI. Nothing says holiday spirit like laying off your whole graphic arts department in the name of moving forward and pushing the envelope. Calling anything about this real is hilarious. Now here's the thing, a lot of motion studios, you know, creative industries are using Gen AI as a part of their workflow now, but the successful companies and successful projects don't use it to replace their artists. I've seen the behind the scenes of some very successful ad campaigns that did use Gen AI at one point in the creative process, but still allowing the team of artists to be in charge and be the directors instead of laying them off. Here's an interesting thought. Now, if corporate's goal is to cut costs, maybe instead of cutting out an entire team of artists and animators, you could potentially start at the top. A very simple Google search will tell you that Coca-Cola CEO James Quincy's total compensation was approximately $28 million in 2024. With a base salary of $2 million, his total compensation is comprised mainly of bonuses, stock awards, and options, with salary accounting for a small percentage. For 2023, his total compensation was $25 million. I'm not going to pretend to know James Quincy's situation. Maybe things are genuinely very tough at home and he really does need that extra $3 million. Poor James. We can't cut his salary. How is he going to live with $3 million less? Oh, so from my perspective, this entire argument of this saves costs for the company, like, just breaks down entirely. The numbers don't actually seem to work out that way. Instead, it seems like they're just sucking the wealth away from the working class people and moving it up to upper management. Here's another response. Hey, remember when FedEx logged in for commercials like these? And there's just a fantastic looking animated commercial with like this awesome style, and you can tell this was made by a lot of animators, you know, with a lot of love. 4 million views and 200,000 likes, just tons and tons of support for stuff like this. This is the one thing that I'm noticing, especially with the surge of fake shit on the internet nowadays. Everyone seems to be moving back and gravitating towards things that are more authentic. You know, it's not about production quality, it's not about technical perfection, it's authenticity. Someone replied to that post saying, I can do this too, with an AI generated video from Grok. And this response is absolutely hilarious.
No, you can't.
Just got absolutely ratioed. Oh my god. And this ad campaign seems to have almost done the complete opposite of what they were trying to accomplish, which is to sell more Cokes. Because look at these comments. This one says AI slop, glad I drink Pepsi. And you can actually translate this to English. And you can see it doesn't change because it's absolute facts. Pepsi looking real tasty since this one dropped. Makes me want a Pepsi. I guess Pepsi doesn't taste so bad after all. Soulless ad from a soulless company. Let's drink Pepsi. Oh yeah, I should start drinking Pepsi from now on. Gonna drink Pepsi exclusively after seeing this. This is freaking hilarious. Here's someone's response to the original post on X. Anyway, here are all the brands to avoid buying. Brands owned by Coca-Cola. This is so funny to me because, you know, despite the fact that people like to say all publicity is good publicity, that's not the case. Look at Jaguar, for example. Sure, they got everybody talking about them, but it destroyed their whole brand. Now, this whole AI situation with Coca-Cola is hilarious because if we just boil this down, okay, what is an advertisement? An advertisement is where you spend a certain amount of money to make more money. So instead of doing that, Coca-Cola is like, no, we're gonna put in no money and we're gonna make less money. Oh my god. Oh my god, huge brain move. That's what kind of 4D chess? So the AI generated Christmas ad of 2024 got a ratio of a little bit less than 1 to 10. Okay, there was a little bit more likes back then, but the ratio on this new one is just getting so much worse. Like, people do not like this. It's just very baffling to me because the CEO of this company and all the other executives in charge must be so out of touch with the average person to decide to, you know, push forward with a campaign like this. I would have to imagine the negative press and like some of the intangible elements like the brand perception, as well as just people actively saying, hey, instead of buying Coke, I'm gonna go to your competitor now. All of that has gotta cost you more than the amount of money that you might have saved by cheaping out on this ad campaign. Now, this whole situation reminds me a lot of this one reel that I saw recently, which is me when I'm about to walk into a store, but I see them using AI. She walks away. Very simple premise and 1.9 million likes, which is freaking insane. This is more of an anecdotal example for me, but I walk past this one shawarma place in downtown Toronto all the time. And they always have this sign out, you know, like a meal combo deal or something with a guy holding an AI shawarma. And that sign has always stood out to me, not because it's good, but because like it just invokes this uneasy feeling in me. Like, if you're genuinely proud of your product, why can't you display a picture of your actual product? And it seems like everyone else feels the same way. Using AI defeats the purpose of displaying your product. Why would I trust something you can't even photograph? I couldn't have said it better myself. Nothing turns me off faster than seeing an AI ad. Using AI to promote is the easiest way to lose customers. I don't understand especially why big businesses do that. Like, is it that hard to find a good photographer slash artist or even cook a decent looking cookie? Honestly, I'd rather see a bad authentic pic with a cheap camera than this, and that's the key word here, authentic. There's an entire culture shift going on right now back to authenticity. And it's understandable because the entire internet is being flooded with fake stuff. So nowadays, you know, every time I walk past this shawarma place, I'm like, I'm never gonna step foot in your store. Not because I'm on a personal raging hate campaign against all things AI, but just because I would rather spend my money somewhere that feels a little bit more authentic to me. Anyways, guys, I don't know what Coca-Cola is thinking, but they're getting absolutely destroyed right now. And you know, I'm sure more of this is going to happen in the future until one day, eventually, the out-of-touch CEOs and the executives in charge can finally realize that nobody wants this. Nobody. Anyways, guys, I thought this was a pretty entertaining situation happening right now, so I just wanted to talk about it. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for staying to the end. If you guys want to see more art-related content, you want to learn how to draw, you want to actually pick up a new skill, check out some of the other videos on my channel and subscribe if that's what tickles your little pickle. That being said, I'll see you guys on the next video. All right, so for those of you who stayed till the end, you guys are my real ones, and I have a little something to tell you. So I was at Lightbox Expo this past October, and I had a huge collection of prints, but a lot of you guys are not based in the US, and a lot of you guys are also not in California. So I wasn't able to meet all of you guys, and not all of you guys were able to get your hands on a print, but I'm going to be having a 1 week long online release of my most popular top prints, and I will be hand signing them for you guys for those of you who choose to support this little endeavor here. I don't have a print shop online anymore, as you guys know, so this is the way I'm going to be releasing them going forward. It allows me to actually feel a little bit more connected with you guys in doing these product launches, because I actually do get to hand sign them for you, and I think that means more to you as well as to me. So that being said, we're going to be doing an online drop this week. Link is down in the description below, and thank you guys all so much for all of your support. I love you guys. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on the next one.